Hey, good morning. It's Paulette. It is. Wow. It's crazy. It's the 25th of July, 2026. Where did the month go? So it's a sixth day, which is human creation, the number of man. And yeah, when I was. I'm going to tell you some crazy stuff I was doing. Yeah. And a lot of people will probably think, well, what's the relevance of that? I don't know, but I find it fascinating. I really do. I find it fascinating when you really look at things. So when I was totaling up today, and you add up all the digits, it comes, you you get 15, and which when you reduce that, it's a 6. But the 15, I was like, wow, because I was calculating. I took a picture of someone's license plate last night because it stuck out to me. And I'll tell you why. Because I was like, I gotta figure out what all this means. I mean, and I didn't want to forget, so I took a picture of it. But it was and like I said, I live in Pennsylvania, so it was someone from Kentucky was in front of me. And so when I was doing the research, Kentucky is the 15th state. Yeah, the 15th, and I have to figure out when they were, maybe there's some relevance to the date that they became a state, which was June 1st of 1792. Yeah, maybe there's some relevance there, but I found it because I was like, the 15, I didn't have anything to go with the 15 when I was looking at it. I had, the letters and numbers, I had that all worked out. But it was the state, and now the day that it became a state. So when then I was adding up my day of the the day that it is today, it added up to 15. I'm like, oh, there's my Kentucky. I'm just saying, and it it's just fascinating because you just gotta link things together and how they go together. I mean, nothing's an accident. But yeah, so their license plate number. When I was looking at it, what stood out to me was the numbers. It was 9 and then 803. I'm like, wow, that's 9/11. And the reason why 9/11 stuck out to me, obviously because of what happened on 9/11, but I've been watching this channel, and he's a pretty small channel. He's in Canada, and and I do believe, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and it's God's reasoning. And he has a tragic story, but and it goes back to 9/11, and it was 9/11 of 1997. That's when the tragedy happened in his life. But yeah, so I was reading a comment on his channel because he predicts the rapture is going to happen on 9/11, and he really goes in deep, and I mean, and he's a fast talker, and my head's just his numbers, and he goes into the tribulation time period and what's going to happen, and I don't know the Bible all that well, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, very fascinating. If you want the channel, I'll link his channel. I'll put it in the description. His channel. But yeah, he's very fast, and he knows he speaks fast. And I said, well, we can slow it down. But there's just really so much information, and I'm thinking, I mean, he wants people to understand, but to me, I kind of go with the flow. I like to know when when it's going to happen. But, but anyway, so I'm already 5 minutes in, and I have, well, what I want to talk about, my 100-second video is pretty short. So I was like reading his comment, and that someone made, and they were saying, yeah, it's definitely going to happen on 9/11, and they were breaking it down on why it was 9/11, and it has to do with the 1656, and yeah. So I was reading that comment, and after I was done reading that comment, I look at the time. I had no idea what time it was when I was reading. I mean, it's like time is really not that important to me nowadays. But, yeah, and it was 9/11. I'm like, wow, I just read that comment. It's 9/11. And so I looked, and of course I'm at the park. So I looked to my right, and there's only one vehicle to my right, and they're parked so I could see their license plate number. And when I was looking at their license plate number, it had 9/11 in it. And I was like, wow. The numbers were 9/11. And I forget the numbers. I didn't write that down. Shoot. But so the letters, I was just like, oh, that's going to take a little bit more research. So then I researched it, and it was L, R, and K. And when I researched what letter of the alphabet was L, it's the 12th. So that equals 3. So that's Trinity. The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. The R is the 18th, which equals 9. Hello. And K is the 11th state, or the 11th state, the 11th letter of the alphabet, which is 11. So another 9/11, but you have the Trinity in there. So it was a double 9/11 on this person's license plate number, and I'm like, wow. Yeah. So I always knew my license plate, I felt it had meaning to it. Don't ask me why. This is all before I got into the numbers and stuff like that. And because, my van is an older van. I got it it's a 2007. So this is like way, 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 way before any of this. But I always felt it has some form of relevancy. And so when I was researching my license plate number, the letters of my license plate add up to, well, actually it didn't stick out to me. I really had to think hard on this one, and I had to break it up a little bit. And then I'm like, wow. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense to me. Like someone was saying that God is really waking people up and making people know now what the timing is. And I really feel that to be true, because now, so G is the 7th letter of the alphabet, and that's my license plate number. M is the 13th letter of the alphabet, and Z is the 26th letter of the alphabet. So I'm like 7, 13, and 26. That, nothing really stands out to me on that. So I was like thinking and thinking. I'm like, wait, so 7 and 13, that's 20. Oh, 2026. Oh my gosh, that is the current year, I'm thinking. So the numbers to my license plate is because it has a lot. It has 3 5s in it. It's a 3 and 3 5s. So it always felt like it was important to me. I'm like, what? So actually, it adds up. So when I was looking at it, I was like, how, the 2026, I'm like, that really, really, really is. And then I was doing the 35 and the 55. Alright, well, someone parked next to me, but they haven't gotten out yet, so I'll keep talking until they stop their car. So, yeah, actually that adds up to a 90, the 35 and the 55. And I was like, 90, but then I was like, if I take off the 0, that's 9. That's September. Alright, they're off. So, yeah, so I was like, oh, so my license plate number is actually 2026 and 9. Yeah, so I'm like, So it's pointing me to September as well. So I find that fascinating. So I don't want to wait till September for a rapture, but I guess, I gotta wait as long as it takes, right? Right? We gotta be waiting. Alright, so enough of that jazz. But I just wanted to share that with you, because I find that stuff to be fascinating. Paying attention to our surroundings and, what messages we might be getting from that. Sometimes we don't know. Like, a lot of people, they've had dreams, like, decades ago that they never really knew what it meant, and now it's becoming relevant. So, yeah, the timing, you don't know what the meaning is. And then something happens, you're like, oh yeah, I remember, blah, 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 Just saying. So it's my 102nd video. And in Strong's Greek, that makes, that's like yesterday. It was like weak, impossible, and unable. And then in Hebrew, it's love. And yeah, before I read Psalm 102 to you, a little update on my stalker friend. He was on his motorcycle, excuse me, again yesterday. And I think he wanted to park real close to me, but he thought it was going to be too close, I'm thinking. So he didn't. So he circled around, and then he went and parked at a distance, and then he parked so he could stare at me. Which I find so funny. But so then he goes to leave, and then he comes towards me. He could go out the other entrance that he just passed, that he comes in on. I'm telling you, he comes in on that entrance, but he does not leave that entrance. He leaves on the one that goes past me. And so he's on his motorcycle, so he's out in the open. I have my windows down. I always have my windows down so I don't overheat my vehicle. But, yeah, so I was looking at him, and then he looked at me, so I thought it would be awkward if I'm staring at him, and then he stares at me. So I just, kind of like wave my hand, like, hi. Because I'm sure he knows that I've noticed him. It's not like I've, stared him down or anything, but that time he definitely knew that I saw him, and then, yeah. So he gave a he's on his motorcycle, so he's got to have his 2 hands on his bars or whatever you call them. So he kind of waved to me, and then I thought he was gonna leave, But he comes and he didn't come on the driver's side, which that would have probably creeped me out. He did go on the passenger side, and he pulled up his motorcycle, and he said, I just wanted to come and say hi because you're always so friendly. And I was like, oh, yeah. But then as I was thinking about it, I said, oh, hi. Yeah. And then he basically drives off. But as I was thinking about it, I'm like, I mean, but what else is he going to say? It's not like, I don't even know what I would say. Like, hi, I noticed you around. I don't know. But, yeah, the always so friendly thing. I guess maybe because I haven't reported him. I mean, that I don't say, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you always. Yeah, what am I gonna do? It's a free world, free parking lot. He's allowed to come. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I found that interaction, and then I had another interaction in a parking lot. Oh, we're gonna have a gift for Gab again today. Sorry, people. Hopefully you get lots of time to listen to me today. But yesterday I had an interaction in the parking lot. I wanted to go into a store, and I noticed when I parked, I wasn't in my whole parking spot. I kind of was in the lines. It wasn't like a single line. It was like those parking spots where they give you like it's like a little rectangle, so it's like a little extra space in between the spots, and I was parked in it. But it's not a very busy parking lot, and so I was like, that's all right. It's not like too crazy. But when I was sitting in my vehicle, and I was calling the store to find out if anybody would pick up or get a message or something to find out why the store's closed, this pickup truck backs up into the spot next to me. So since he's, and it was to my left, so the driver would get out on my side, and I was thinking, oh, in my head, I'm thinking, because it was so super close, and I'm thinking, man, he's not gonna be able to get out. And so I put my window down, and the guy says to me, there's lines for a reason. I said, yeah, I know. I said, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm leaving anyway. And he says, oh, I didn't know that you're a little bit older than I am. I said, a little bit? He was like in his 20s. And I said, oh, that's so sweet of you. And yeah. And he says, and I said something about leaving. He says, yeah, you're something about being his type, so I better get out of here. I'm like, oh my word. Like, really? So those were my 2 interactions I had yesterday. And I guess they're both positive, right? Because the guy wasn't a jerk. And yeah, I was a bad girl with my parking. But so let's get on. We're 20 minutes in, basically. So Psalm 102 is a cry out to God for his provision and trust in his timing. So yeah, so we're trusting in his timing for the rapture, because we're going up. Oh, and I had another thought about the rapture. You know how some people are like, there is no pre-trib rapture, blah, blah, blah. And I always thought there was one before I even knew that there was controversy about one and not one and all this. It was just a knowing, that I had. And so I was thinking about how there's, the believers that aren't going up and then the believers that are going up. And the church that's not going up are the ones, and they're meant to stay here. They're meant to stay here, and we're the ones that are meant to go up before. So that's my thought on that. It was already predestined. And I feel like I was meant to go up. That's why God was after me. With my 414 for such a time as this. Waking me up and for me to do my research and go on my little journey, because I was a lost sheep. I wasn't too lost, but I was not, because it's not like I wasn't a non-believer, because I was totally a believer in Jesus and Him being here. But like they say, it's not about the believing that, Satan believes. But, so it's not like I was too lost. But I'm just saying that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on my interpretation of why people are, there's the ones that think that it's not. I know they think that I don't know, some guy created that. But, it is in the Bible. Unless someone did alter the Bible. And, I don't know. Time, as they say, time will tell. All right, Psalm 102. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and let my cry come unto thee. Hide not thy face from me in the time when I am in trouble. Incline thine ear unto me in the day when I call. Answer me speedily. For my days are consumed like smoke, and my bones are burned as an earth. My heart is smitten and withered like grass, so that I forget to eat my bread. By reason of the voice of my groaning, my bones cleave to my skin. I am like a pelican of the wilderness. I am like an owl of the desert. I watch and am of sparrow, alone upon the housetop. My enemies reproach me all the day, and they that are mad against me are sworn against me. For I have eaten ashes like bread, and mingled my drink with weeping. Because of thy indignation and thy wrath, for thou hast lifted me up and cast me down. My days are like a shadow that declineth, and I am withered like grass. But thou, O Lord, shalt endure forever, in thy remembrance unto all generations. Thou shalt arise and have mercy upon Zion. For the time to favor her, the set time is coming. For thy servants take pleasure in her stones, and favor the dust thereof. So the heathen shall fear the name of the Lord, and all the kings of the earth thy glory. When the Lord shall build up Zion, he shall appear in his glory. He will regard the prayer of the destitute, and not despise their prayer. This shall be written for the generation to come, and the people which shall be created shall praise the Lord. For he hath looked down from the height of his sanctuary, from heaven did the Lord behold the earth, to hear the groaning of the prisoner, to loose those that are appointed to death, to declare the name of the Lord in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem. when the people are gathered together in the kingdoms to serve the Lord. He weakened my strength in the way. He shortened my days. I said, oh my God, take me not away in the midst of my days. The years are throughout all generations, and of old hast thou laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the work of thy hands. They shall perish, but thou shalt endure ye. All of them shall wax old like garment, as a vesture shalt thou change them, and they shall be changed. But thou art the same, and thy words shall have no end. The children of thy servants shall continue, and their seed shall be established before thee. And that is Psalm 102. And yeah, I'm sorry I made this so long, but thank you for taking time out of your day for me, and for listening to me talk. But I won't lengthen it too much longer. So I love you. And I guess, I don't know. Let's see if we gotta wait till September. We'll find out. And a song popped in my head this morning, and I'm like, wow. Yeah, it was, what's the name of the song? Seasons in the sun. We have joy, we have fun, we have seasons in the sun. It's an old song. So if you're not old, you might not know it. But I love you. Have a great day. Bye.